now on Denver 7, a tornado warning near the airport as a heat wave hits Colorado.
Only 3 more days until the Stanley Cup Finals. The Avs now know who they will play.
Our Denver 7 sports team is breaking down the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Avs plan to beat them for the Cup.
It didn't sound like, bangs or cracks or anything, just like pop, pop, pop.
Plus, a Denver house party turns deadly when several people are shot, the latest on the police investigation.
It's moving in the right direction. We're glad that the Senate is finally awake about this.
And lawmakers finally coming to a compromise on legislation to reform America's gun laws.
We start off tonight with roller coaster weather. A tornado warning this afternoon at the airport. Take a look at this landspout tornado caught on camera near DIA. Looks scary, but no damage done and no flights were delayed or canceled.
All right, let's get right over to meteorologist Stacey Donaldson. Stacey, we certainly want to make a distinction here. So what's the difference between a landspout and a tornado?
Well, the difference is really where the rotation originates. Obviously, in the name, we see landspout. The rotation originates on the ground, and as the hot air rises, it really starts to tighten the rotation as that air goes up toward the cloud, and those surface winds draw into the thunderstorm. Now, a regular tornado that we normally see this time of year is tornado rotation begins in the sky in a supercell, and when that tornado touches down, that's when we have an actual tornado on the ground. So what we saw today was a landspout tornado. It does not differentiate in damage. The winds can still be around 100 miles an hour. So thank goodness we didn't see any damage from that or lasting problems, but we still have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for northeastern Colorado. And this is actually where the landspout took place here just north of the airport. And then here in Denver, we have a few scattered showers still sticking around. We have more severe weather up into northeastern Colorado. Severe thunderstorm warning extended until 5:45, and also a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings here just north of La Junta and near Lamar. So we're going to keep an eye on these storms as they continue to pass on through. Our temperatures will stay mild through the rest of tonight. Then we're going to talk about more hot weather on the way for tomorrow in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Stacey. Now to our other big story, the Avs in the Stanley Cup Finals. It is official. We now know who they will be playing on their final stop of the NHL postseason.
Very, very exciting times. Denver 7 sports anchor Nick Rothschild joins us now. Nick, the Avs are taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning, hoping to stop them from getting the three-peat.
Yeah, no kidding. This is like one of those classic battles between an unstoppable force and an immovable object. The Avs have been a buzzsaw, chopping through these playoffs like a DeWalt through toilet paper. But the Lightning have parked themselves in the Stanley Cup Finals the last 2 years and haven't moved. Getting them up out of there is going to take the Avs' best effort of the year, and they've rallied under a familiar battle cry.
To be the best, you got to beat the best, and these guys defending back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, so we're excited. It'll be a good matchup.
The way I look at it is, if you want to be the best, you have to expect to be able to beat the best. So that's them, and we're ready for the challenge. We're getting ready for the challenge. It's going to be a long, hard-fought series, and 2 great teams going at it, and we're confident in what we do, and likewise, I'm sure they are too, being back here again.
All right, well, here we go. The final leg of this chase for the Stanley Cup begins on Wednesday right here on Denver 7. Coverage begins at 5:30 with our Denver 7 Avalanche pregame show. Once the final horn sounds and the Avs take a 1-0 series lead, keep it locked right here for our Denver 7 postgame show to hear live reaction from players and Coach Bednar. So what do we need to know about the Avs' next victim? Well, as we discussed, they have playoff pedigree, back-to-back defending champs. They've got the best goalie in the league, Andrei Vasilevsky, and a scoring machine in Steven Stamkos, who scored both of their goals last night to beat the Rangers. The Stammer Hammer, as Lightning fans call him. And he says this cup matchup was years in the making.
Probably the best team in the league. So, to be honest, probably a team we thought we would have played the last couple of years. Between them and Vegas, it's just 2 unbelievable teams, and now they've broken through. They have just an unbelievable mix of veteran presence, star power, grinders, a goalie. So a huge challenge for us.
The Avs and Lightning played twice in the regular season. Colorado won both of those games, but don't let that fool you. This Tampa team treats the regular season like preseason, and this final round of the playoffs is where they shine. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Nick. We are so excited.
We sure are. All right. Now to more serious news. A man died yesterday from a heat-related illness on the Palisade Plunge Trail in Mesa County. The Mesa County Sheriff's Office says the 52-year-old was mountain biking alone and ran out of water. A group of 3 other riders stopped to help him and called 911. At some point, they also ran out of water and were suffering from dehydration. First responders eventually found all 4 of them, but the 52-year-old did not survive. The 3 other riders are doing okay. The Sheriff's Office says to make sure to pack at least 2.5 gallons of water if you plan on going cycling or hiking in the heat.
A Denver house party ends in a shooting overnight, and now police are investigating after multiple people were shot, and we're just learning in the last hour 2 of those people have died.
Denver Seven's Patrick Perez is live in the Virginia Village neighborhood where it all happened. Patrick, neighbors say they first thought they heard fireworks before realizing it was gunshots.
Yeah, Brian, one neighbor I spoke with this morning told me that he was not aware a shooting had occurred just outside of his home, much less a deadly shooting until he stepped outside of his home today. Neighbors tell me that shooting happened right here at this home on East Colorado Avenue. This is between Claremont and Dahlia. This area was closed for hours today as investigators did their work, but police have not yet said what exactly led up to this shooting. A house party in Denver's Virginia Village neighborhood turning deadly overnight.
I heard some pops, more than 4 or 5.
Police say 6 people were shot. 2 of them were killed at a home on East Colorado Avenue between Claremont and Dahlia. Neighbors say they heard what sounded like fireworks before 1 o'clock early Sunday morning.
It didn't sound like, bangs or cracks or anything, just like pop, pop.
Keegan Maselli was not aware it was an actual shooting until he tried to leave his home about 9 a.m. and saw crime scene tape.
We have parties too and stay up late. It's like we have all sorts of people come over, and it's scary to think that someone can just roll up and let loose.
The street was blocked off for hours as investigators canvassed the area for evidence. We counted multiple markers on the ground.
You never think it's going to happen on your block because the whole block is really just super quiet and chill, lots of families and stuff.
Denver police records show when it comes to violent crime, the neighborhood is not at the top of the list, but it is rising. So far this year, there have been 23 violent crimes like murder, robbery, and aggravated assaults. All of last year, there were 42, an increase of 40% from the year prior. Neighbors just can't believe this shooting happened so close to home.
It's a little scary, honestly.
Police and fire have been here all day cleaning up the scene, but you can still see some red cups here that likely belong to that party. The 4 other people who were shot do have serious injuries. Police, by the way, have not made any arrests or shared any suspect information, but we'll keep you updated. Live in Denver, I'm Patrick Perez, Denver 7.
All right, thank you, Patrick. And Aurora police are investigating what appears to be a road rage shooting. Look at this. It happened here on Chambers Road near East Evans Avenue around 7 last night. 1 man was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. He is expected to survive. The police had to shut down Chambers for about 4 hours during this investigation. No arrests or suspect information has been released, and police are asking for tips to Denver Metro Crime Stoppers.
Now to the latest on gun reform in America. After weeks of negotiations, today a bipartisan group of senators announced they have reached an agreement on new legislation.
And that's right, and if passed, this would be the most significant action Congress has taken on guns in the last 3 decades. ABC's Ike Ejiachi has more.
A bipartisan group of senators announcing on Sunday it's reached a general agreement on new gun legislation. It's an agreement in principle and not legislative text. The details of the deal will be critical for Republicans, particularly the firearms-related provisions. 20 senators, including the 10 Republicans necessary to avoid a filibuster, released a statement on Sunday, saying in part, "Today we are announcing a common-sense bipartisan proposal to protect America's children, keep our schools safe, and reduce the threat of violence across our country." Included in the agreement, further funding for mental health, incentives for the creation of so-called red flag laws, increased funding for school safety, and strengthening the federal background check system. For buyers under 21 years of age, the deal would require an investigative period to review juvenile and mental health records. In a statement, President Biden saying, "Obviously it does not do everything that I think is needed, but it reflects important steps in the right direction." The House has been working on more sweeping actions on gun reform, but those measures would likely fail in the Senate. Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin telling CNN CNN this deal is a baby step he would vote for.
It's moving in the right direction. We're glad that the Senate is finally awake about this.
News of this agreement coming just one day after hundreds of thousands marched in cities across the country calling for tougher gun legislation.
We're not taking people's guns away. We're just saying nobody should have military-style weapons to be able to go into schools and kill huge numbers of kids within just minutes.
March for Our Lives founder David Hogg, a survivor of the 2018 Parkland school shooting, reacting to the deal, tweeting, "This is progress, even if small. Even if it stops one Parkland, it's worth it." Ike Chachi, ABC News, Washington.
Police in Idaho have arrested 31 members of a white supremacist group when they arrived at a large pride parade yesterday. One of the men is from Colorado, who appears to be from the Colorado Springs area. Police found him and 30 other Patriot Front members in the back of a U-Haul truck with riot gear. They have all been charged with conspiracy to riot, which is a misdemeanor.
Starting today, COVID travel requirements will be different for international passengers. If you're entering the U.S. from another country, you will no longer need to show a negative COVID test. The CDC says the requirement's no longer necessary due to vaccines and other treatments.
A lot of people didn't want to travel internationally because of the testing requirement. This provides them with peace of mind so that they know when they're traveling they can make it home.
I'm thankful that we are relaxing that. I'm vaccinated. I felt good.
Well, it wouldn't be my preference. I would prefer to have testing still.
Now that the testing requirement is gone, the federal government no longer has any COVID mandates in place.
A Colorado woman is spending her birthday in high-flying fashion. See the unique way she decided to celebrate this year.
Plus, another way to beat the heat in Denver, but why the city's public pools will not be open every day this summer.